All right, with your Excel file open, go ahead and label these columns like this: M1, M2, distance, force. I skipped a column, but you don't have to. And I put M1 times M2 over R squared. So for your mass values, you'll have 6 of the same numbers for both column 1 and column 2. So we'll start by, you should put in your mass values, no units. 1E10 was one of my mass values, and my mass 2 was 4E9. I have no units in here. That E is a placeholder for the order of magnitude. Rather than have to type 1E10 5 more times, I can just mouse over the bottom right hand corner, the cursor changes to black. If I click, drag, hold down to the 8th row, it auto-populates the same number for me. I'll do that for both mass 1, mass 2. Now I'm going to be inputting distance, force values. I will pause my recording here to expedite the process. You should go ahead and put your distance and force values in. Make sure your distances are in meters. Give me a moment. All right, I'm back. It doesn't matter what order I put my distances and force values, because when we make our graph, it'll linearize it for us. Here underneath where we put M1 times M2 over R squared, this is where we'll do the calculations. We'll be plotting force versus M1 times M2 over R squared, so we need to go ahead and have Excel calculate M1 over M2 times R squared. And this first entry here, I'm going to type the equal sign, and I'm going to grab M1, that's the A2 entry, shift 8 for the multiplication, that's the asterisk shift 8, and then I'll click this, and then slash for divide by, this distance, and then shift 6 for the square to raise it to the second power, and I hit enter. And it did that math for me. If I click, drag, hold now, it'll automatically do it row by row. So there, it makes it easier. Okay, we will now go to insert at the top. We're going to insert a chart, scatter, no lines. It's the first one. One moment. Okay, now hopefully you don't have any data in here. If you do, or if it's blank like mine, go to select data either up here or right click the chart area and select data. You can remove any entries. We'll start fresh, remove any entries that are in right now in the data source, and we're going to add. So the series name, this will be force versus mass over distance squared. Okay. Our series x values equals our x values. These are the independent, well, the independent variable is 1 over r squared, and we've just multiplied it by the constants. Either way, these will be our x values. Click, drag, hold. Series y values, delete the brackets and 1, keep the equal sign, and your force values go on the y-axis. Hit OK, OK again. You need to click the green plus sign, go to axis titles, and click on trend line. To the right of the trend line, click the arrow, go to more options, and scroll down, display equation on chart. I want to see what I want more significant figures for my slope, so I'll double click, sorry, go to format trend line, text options, no, double click, okay, here we go, format trend line, and click the green vertical bars. Change the number category from general to scientific. Hey, that's a good value. That 6.67e negative 11, that looks really familiar. The x-axis, you can title it M1 times M2 over R squared. And the units for this would be kilogram squared, because mass times mass, that's kilogram unit times kilogram unit, divided by distance squared units, so divided by M squared, okay? And up here, this would be force of gravitational attraction, and this units of newtons. As long as your titles are appropriate or your access labels are appropriate with units, it should be fine. Okay, and you can change the color on this, whatever you need to do to make it your own. Ultimately, you will save this file and you will submit it to Canvas. Everyone should have distinct values, at least at your table, and this should be a relatively easy grade. Thank you for watching and study well.